I wasn't really expecting to make this video today. If you haven't seen on the social media networks, Thorpe Park have released yet another statement saying that Hyperia will be unable to open today, and I guess also for the foreseeable future. And why is that, you may ask? Is there something wrong with the lift motor? Is it not getting off the brake run? No, it's rolled back and stalled in the valleys. They took the name Fearless Valley too seriously, but it is a massive shame. That happened today. Hyperia closing may be a massive shame, but this series still lives on, so that is not a shame. And I didn't think there'd be any news this week, so thanks Thorpe Park. And if you do want to stay updated on the latest news within theme parks in the UK, subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. So if you haven't seen this channel before, and you haven't seen the multitude of videos about the fact Hyperia is broken, let me do a quick rundown for you. The ride was set to open on the 24th of May, and it did open to the public for that one day. They then released a statement saying it wouldn't open until the next week, and then when that date hit, they delayed it even more. Wednesday the 12th of June, that's the day it did open. I got a few rides in it on that day, I went back since, and it's been running pretty well. Until a week after, it is now broken again today. Why can't this ride survive longer than a week? Now, last time when it closed for almost 3 weeks, that was a lift motor issue, and we sort of knew that from the parts that were being delivered and nothing else, it was just rumours. But we now know the legitimate reason for it closing today. A lot of people have been saying on the run up to this moment that when testing in the morning completely empty, it barely makes it over that first outer bank because the drop is massive, and then you go down that into a very short immelman compared to the drop, and that overbank is probably a little bit taller than that immelman, so it's gonna have to have some speed going through that. And when the train is empty, of course, it weighs less, funnily enough, and that means the gravity and the force of which is pulling the train along or pushing it along will be less, meaning it has less speed. Hence why if you look at this comparison video, which is a very clever idea, you can see how much faster a full train runs through that element. But today, the empty train did not make it through, because as you can see from this visual interpretation here, it went up the overbank, almost got round, and just rolled all the way back down. I don't think anyone managed to get a video of it actually rolling back for the first time, but there are these ones of it just rocking back and forth. It's quite funny. If you've ever wanted to brave Hyperia backwards, now you can. But that happened during morning testing, and then they turned everyone away and released a statement saying that it wouldn't open today. And again, another visual representation. This is just where the train is sat. That's where it is. But we knew at some point with the wind and sort of the elements that it was going to stall at one point. Obviously, with this just being morning testing, there was no one on the ride, and that doesn't make a difference really, because even if there was, they would be completely safe. As much as you may not believe me saying this, even if it does roll back and just sit there in the middle of the layout, there's going to be no train behind because of the block sections, and at the same time, you will get out very safely. Heck, even DC Rivals, another Mack hypercoaster, valleyed at one point, and it's been running safely and fine ever since. So when it does reopen, don't think it's dangerous, because I promise you, it's not. But now the question is, when will we see the ride reopen? Now, if this was Europa Park, we would see this train completely off and back in the maintenance shed or on the track the next day. Because if you don't know, Voltron did the same. It valleyed the night before it was supposed to open, and they still had the ride open. Crazy stuff that, by the way. But because this is Thorpe Park, and with Voltron there's 7 trains on the track, and that was one of them that got stuck, this only has 2, and one of them's got stuck. I wouldn't be surprised if this takes another few days to get going again, unless they decide to run it on just one train for a while. But they're either going to have to crane that entire train off piece by piece and drive it up to the maintenance shed, or they can do probably the most inefficient method, like they did with DC Rivals, and crane it up all the way over the element, to then push it over. I somehow don't think they're going to do that. But yeah, it is a massive shame, because Hyperia just seems to be having the most unlucky run ever. Thorpe Park, I do pray for you. Either way, I hope it reopens soon. It is quite sad to see this happen again, and I just pray that I don't have to make another Hyperia broke video. Maybe next it'll be Hyperia's being removed. Although, jokes aside, if you want to see a video where I talk about another beloved UK attraction that could be getting removed, click here. It's a very interesting video, if I do say so myself. Hang on, I'm in the way. You see that video? Watch it. Subscribe!